Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of People of Data, where we get to highlight the wonderful people of data. These are our data leaders from various industries, geographies, and disciplines. Discover how companies are using data, their achievements, and the challenges they face. Today on the show, we have Irina Ioana Brudara. Irina is a modern Swiss knife with more than 15 years of experience computer engineering with research background. Irina spent more than 6 years at Google. She's now leading and working with different companies in the EQOM Group. She's also passionate about mentorship and leadership with a strong focus on supporting women in tech. Welcome to the show, Irina.
Thank you for having me, Tarush. It's a pleasure.
Let
Where shall we start?
Yeah, let's get right into it. Would love to find out, what does the EQOM Group do? Um, what do you guys do? How do you make
It's
money? And
oh
how
yeah.
does sort of data fit into all of this?
I have to say that most people say, "Oh, what is this EQOM Group? I never heard of a big company like this in Europe." Then they look and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense." So EQOM Group is a sexual wellness group of companies. So with let's say daughter companies in Germany, in France, in the Benelux area, in the complete DACH, the Nordics as well, the south of Europe. So we have something a little bit everywhere, but our strongest presence is in the, let's say, from France upwards geographically. Sexual wellness means a lot of things, means toys, means education, means classes, and understanding and being, say, working in this field makes the people very open-minded because there's, just imagine that if you don't have a sense of humor and you're, maybe this is not the right environment, but imagine you have a reporting, an emergency, an escalation. I'm like, the sales for a certain toy have dropped massively, and some people cannot say the name of the toy, and they're like, oh my god. So I would say that working here is fun, and it's also really unique because people accept each other regardless of age or sexual orientation or whatever. It's pretty unique in that regard. And also, what I see is that there is less, I haven't seen it so far, let's say discrimination or like you're a girl, you can't do this. No such thing. Like this does not exist here. And it's very
Awesome.
nice. And our team, so to give a bit of context, in my previous roles, I was a head of data, but I decided to take a little bit of step back. And my current boss, Tom, he's the head of data. Though I would say at the group level, it's just a completely different beast to be a head of data for a whole group. He snapped me off the market when he saw my profile and said, like, there's so many cool things to work on at ECOM. Please join. And so I did. It's really fun. So we are a team. It's also, if I would say, it's a very unique way of working in our data team that I have never seen in any other data team before. We're all almost working like independent consultants. So our boss doesn't tell us what to do. Like, oh, somebody needs an analysis, go and do it. It's more like we are all quite senior in our roles and have a little bit of multiple areas of expertise. So we're all a little bit of a Swiss knife with different tools inside it. And we can cover the variety of data areas between each other. And this is also why our boss does not give us work. We know we go to all the meetings that are important and we know what the gaps are and what needs to be done. So it's such a high level of accountability, trust, and responsibility. It's really, really nice. The projects are more like a consultancy project because you go in, you do something, and then you go out and do something for someone else. Now, because this is a group that had recent years new purchases of companies, of course, ingesting the data and leveling the data maturity at the group level is not something that is easy. It is reflected in our current ERP and database projects, building the data. I personally work on really nice ML and data science problems. So I'm in this role, I'm doing something I haven't done before, which is media mix modeling for understanding the impact of my marketing spend. It's an art in its own. It's a very big beast, but yeah, we're using the tool that makes iterations easier and the results faster to use. I'm also using causal inference for measurement of all different things. You have different ways of measuring things, and A/B test is the most classic. This is for when you do not have as many signals, so you want to measure how a poster in a city or number of posters have impacted sales, or how spreading flyers in a certain neighborhood impacted sales. So you can build test and control from these things. Yeah, I like to work in this little sandwich between data and business. I'm motivated by making a financial impact, to be honest.
Yeah.
And of course, users' experience and whatnot. But
Yeah.
financial health for a company comes also from the user's experience and
Yeah.
health on the website.
That makes a ton of sense. So, kind of at a macro level, right? You have multiple different businesses, as you mentioned. You have trainings, you have courses, you have an e-commerce store, you have all of these different business lines, and
Yeah.
that's essentially how the EQOM Group sort of operates. How does sort of data play a role in helping the EQOM Group fundamentally, work across these multiple businesses?
There are areas of the business that are very similar in the way that let's say reporting is standardized. Maybe some of the companies are a little bit higher in the data maturity, and then you would say, hey, feel free to try something new on us, and see if it makes money, then we'll do it. And then they become the inspiration for the rest of the group if they are leading the specific new topics or new ideas. There is always the red line of EBITDA. I'm a huge fan of EBITDA reporting and of unit economics. And all in all, I mean, all companies are separated not only geographically, but to a degree also in culture, communication. So yes, these also are aligned through the data and through what the historical data tells. Currently, for example, we're looking into CRM, and there are a couple of companies that have worked with CRM tools for much longer than others, which are newer. So instead of staying in your own little bubble and said, I want to know the German market, and that's the only thing I can do. No, go and ask your friends at another company. We're not competitors. We are working together. So teach us for free how you use this tool. Why should I pay a provider? Teach us all the tricks. Breaking these cultural barriers with data. I feel like it's part of the job as well.
I love it. It seems like the culture is very open and sort of very collaborative across these different entities which you have. If you just zoom into the footprint of the company, how across all of the different groups, how big are how many employees do you have? How many employees are in the data space?
So the company's all employees summed up, I think, are about 500. All of them, all of the group. I do not know everyone, so I work in our team. We work remote. I'm in Germany, but the mothership is in the Netherlands, in Venda, where also the storage is. Yeah, that's a lot of people in a lot of countries. So we also have offices in France. We also have offices in Germany, Netherlands. I think Belgium is up for discussion, and a couple of others. So yeah, you can, for example, work for the Nordics, but be in Spain. It's okay if your boss agrees with your performance and the setup is great. A couple of years ago, the data was considered a shared service, so everything was brought at the mothership. So our boss belongs to the mothership, and he's leading everything for all of the companies. Our data has 5-6 people at the moment, which is not a lot at all. But if you remember that I told you we work as very senior consultants, that's also why you understand why we're so impactful. That doesn't mean that it's enough people, but we know how to work with, work smart. Prioritize. And our team is located remote as well. This is a perk of our company, and actually for most of the people it's a huge perk to be able to work remotely from anywhere in Europe.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you're at about 500 people. Sort of the data team is obviously 1% of the company, which is traditionally very, very small. But everyone being senior, you're able to have a big impact. What does your sort of data footprint look like, right? Because you mentioned you have some levels of like central tools, but you also, different groups allowed to pick different things. What does the data stack look like across the entire group?
I wanted to add that also some of these companies might have people who act as data analysts. So they will not build dashboards, but they might do some reporting based on CRM, based on some retargeting tools and so on. So some people have data literacy and some not. And if that data literacy exists in the companies, then they are more self-sufficient and don't need as much from us. You wanted to ask what the stack is. We have Databricks, and I love Databricks so much. It's the first time I got to try it. It's so natural to find what you need and to build things. I also really like that they have the SQL notebooks as similar to Python notebooks, so you can run and test and connect and so on. So it's hugely fun and fast.
How do you get data into Databricks?
Through very many ways, through APIs, through tools, through import from some legacy system, through expensive tools. But there's a feature in Databricks coming up that it replaces ingestion tools. For dashboards, we're just a classic tool. It's not like there are very many tools. We're not there with the semantic layer and Looker or anything else. It's just early, of course, the classic Google marketing stack, targeting stack, and so on.
So when you mentioned on BI, what's the current BI tool across the company?
Power BI.
Oh, Power BI.
Of course.
Yeah, I think Power BI is a fantastic tool.
I know.
Makes sense.
You can even have things like little Python plugins or R plugins, and you can bring that fancy stuff into it. You can do anomaly detection directly in Power BI on the charts. It's very
Makes
nice.
sense. So it sounds like you're using Databricks as a warehouse. You're using all of the advanced stuff in there, like SQL notebooks and Python. So you don't need a standalone orchestrator or a standalone botting tool. You're using Power BI. And you're really waiting on the ingestion side for sort of Databricks sort of manage ingestion.
And of course, we use dbt because although we mentioned orchestration, of course we have to. Otherwise, orchestration.
And are you using dbt Cloud or you're using dbt Core?
I don't want to say something stupid, but I think it's Cloud. I'm not sure.
Got it. No, makes
sense. Because I'm not touching the other projects.
That's awesome. And, a stack like that really allows you to do a lot with a smaller team because you're not managing and maintaining 10 different tools to go do it. You're really leveraging the sort of power of Databricks. So that makes a ton of sense.
So I would say, given the different levels of digital maturity and data literacy in the company, you need these tools. Because finding somebody to have all of these skills in one is harder. Having such tools allow you to iterate faster and move forward faster.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. People of Data is brought to you by 5X. It's no surprise that the data space is one of the most fragmented industries with over 500 vendors in 30 plus categories. The analogy we use is data vendors are selling car parts. Imagine walking into a Honda and instead of selling you a Civic, they sell you an engine and you have to build your own car. That's exactly what's happening in the data world today. 5X is an all-in-one data platform that's incredibly easy to use. We make it easy to consolidate your data from your different systems, clean it, structure it, model it, and make it available through dashboards, reporting, and AI. Whether you're building a data platform from scratch, filling in missing pieces, or need expert data services, 5X has you covered. Imagine a world where any team can become a data and AI team in just a few clicks. If you're interested in making sure you don't get left behind in this new world of data and AI, get a demo at 5x.co. What is one thing which you're particularly proud of? This could be across the entire group, but what is one area where data's made an impact and it's something which you're extremely proud of?
I mean, I'm still early. April is just around the corner. I brought MMM on board. This was also required by the board and more senior leadership. It's not a win yet because this is a long journey for adoption and understanding the strengths of different markets. And I mean, like, you could talk about MMM for hours at this point because you can have so many variations and remove some input variables, have different response variables, and so on. I'm
Yeah,
proud I started it, and I think it's complex. And I'm proud I opened the conversation, even though it's not a success yet, in my opinion.
yeah,
Still requires a lot. That we started with monthly granularity, and then we realized, well, actually, we need weekly. We don't have some companies. We don't have that much data.
yeah,
And then, yeah, we realized we cannot catch some finer trends. Or if you, let's say that you spread the vouchers in the city center for Berlin, this is a 1-day event, and if you put it in a MMM model, that will count as a 1-month event. If it's a monthly
yeah,
granularity, if it's weekly, then it's weekly. So you're reducing a little bit the effect of it. Because while
yeah.
positive, it's also over-inflated if you go to the monthly granularity.
And does the company have
Yeah.
a big appetite to really go play around with AI? Obviously we're living in a world today where a lot of people have AI anxiety.
That is like completely. There's another team that does that. So we in AI we use it for photos, for editing, for models wearing lingerie, so that we do not make more photos and we do not have more photo shoots. We have a set from which we get inspired and then extrapolate, and that saves money. It's something. Yeah, the face is real. That's not a problem. But the rest can be a little bit manipulated in different outfits.
Yeah,
There are also some other AI opportunities for optimizations, but I don't know if I can talk about this particular one because it's not mine.
fully
But
get
you
it.
can do in the area of marketing. I would say there's a lot of opportunity as well.
Yeah,
But you can build customer lifetime value, and you can do bidding on the margin or on the
yeah,
RFN segmentation group or on the entire revenue or on
yeah.
and so on and so forth.
That makes a ton of sense. What's one area which has been sort of challenging? It's a small data team working across a large group. What's one area which is a
Volume.
challenge which you're extremely focused on?
We all have a lot of projects, so the to do is unlimited. So one has to prioritize the things that are impactful now or in the next month, and yeah, work strategically, prioritize strategically. Because I also have curiosities. Like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I want to know the return reason for everything. I want to see what, why, what, and why. Like, nobody did a deep dive if there is a XGBoost connection between return and something else as an attribute. I went into the weeds. Nobody asked for it, and I didn't use it, but maybe I use it.
So it sounds like you
So
have the flexibility to go sort of try out all of these things, which is awesome. How do you sort of prioritize? And if you're structured in a way which everyone is structured as a sort of senior consultant, there's sort of many different trains of thought and opportunities. How do you sort of prioritize to make sure that what everyone's doing is very aligned?
I would say this is something we're still working on because we are so. I mean, the data team is centralized. A lot of other services are centralized. Marketing is obviously not because it's also so cultural and so different in every country, what works and what doesn't. I would say project managing people from different cultures, the companies themselves, different goals, different ways of communication. Oh my God, that the Dutch are direct. I love it.
Yeah,
To me, it's great. It's clinical. It tells me what to
yeah,
do. While
yeah,
maybe the French are not, and they have to adjust the alignment and the project management based on people. The people are the hardest part. They know so.
yeah. Uh, it sounds like the culture is very open to it, and the diversity in this case really helps and create this multi sort of faceted culture, which it really sounds like. The sort of challenge on one side over there is, it's a little bit free for all right now, and a little bit less of top down. Like these are the focuses across the group, but it sounds like the awareness around how to go do
Yeah,
this is sort of
we're going there. I mean, the companies go through different phases. First is like let's set up the business idea. Then it works. Let's make it at scale. Let's put more volume behind it, and that works. And then companies get to a certain stage, and you can no longer wing it, and you need to bring up like experts in CRM, experts in personalization, pricing, and so on. So we right now it's in the tipping point where things become a little bit more specialized, and we need to be more focused on where we go
Makes
and
perfect
how
sense.
we do things.
As you look at like the future, what are some areas of investment, particularly on the data side, which can have outsized impact in the business?
So many more people to more people would be the first one. Second one would be like an alignment of what type of tracking we do in the company, so that we don't have one person having to learn 6 tools. So alignment, quality. Other part, there is still a lot of volume in order to support the stakeholders in the day-to-day business decisions. My dream would be to have reports customized per role sent every day about their performance of this. It's being what's called being served with the things that you have to do every single day in related to your business. I've experienced this in a team at Google where we had such tools that would give us alerts and tell us what we need to do that day that's very urgent or if something broke. And I feel like in this business, we're not there yet, but that is where I want to go. I will make business so happy, just transparency. And so we need more people for that. We need more people to build alerts and dashboards and pipelines.
If you're watching the show and you're looking for a new gig, the EQOM Group, working with Irina sounds awesome. You should go definitely give it a shot. Irina, thank you so much for being on the show and adding value to our listeners.